I had the goal to write the exam, and I don't have the grade yet, but I'm done with that. I have just written an exam, and it's almost 1 a.m. in the morning, but managing never stops. And I think I'm planning to do 2 courses in April and filming them, and that's why we're here. Because the planning process is the first thing that starts it all. It's basically, for me personally, very satisfying because you just plan it all out. And if that doesn't work for you, then I have a tip for you, because I don't give myself any option to fail. That sounds hard, but I usually have like 1 day where I can go over the deadline that I set myself. I desperately wanted a break. Basically, I'm giving myself 2 weeks per course. That means I have 1 week for summarizing 1 course, and then 1 week for studying said course, which already gives you so much to do on 1 day. And that usually helps me that if I break it down into days, it usually works. What? Because the thinking you're doing now, the complaining you're doing later. Every time I study, there's like so much I have to do after studying that it's just way too much. I was planning to take a few days off, and I will eventually need to take those days really off so I get bored. So I have that one moment of boredom where I'm like, okay, let me do something. Because if you have too much on your plate, it will not work out. No matter how much you want to pull through, if you're just dreading the work and every second of it and starting into the work week with no motivation, with no energy reserves, then you're not off to a good start. And my point is that if you work a lot, then you also have so many other responsibilities, like calling doctors, making appointments, getting your car fixed. If you have so much on your plate that you don't have time to rest, then that's not good, because per day you're supposed to have like 2 to 5 hours of rest time for yourself. But especially if those are like your rest days, and then you have to do chores the whole entire day, when are you gonna recharge? My point is, you cannot work if you don't have any battery left. And also, preparing is like really preparing everything, doing your chores, but that you don't have to do them as much when you will be needing to work so much. And then if you know you have like doctor's appointments or anything, it's best to book them now, do everything that you can. Preparing, yes, my car makes weird noises, get over it. Preparing for that time as best as you can, because you, as I know myself, usually there will not be a lot of time to get those organizational things out of the way. You can't think of everything, but when that time comes, you've had like that preparatory phase where you're like prepared, and you're like, okay, I only have to focus on studying today, on summarizing those pages, on getting this done, focusing on writing that exam, so that there's nothing else on your mind. And even if it is, you know that it is scheduled for a later date. Not for today. It has a specific time, and everything that would have come up in that period, you already tackled beforehand, or prepared it, or did something, so it's not that much work in that time. Obviously that doesn't work out always, but I think you get what I'm saying. And this was the second part of my preparatory phase, where after like planning when I will do it, I will also do everything that I didn't get to do, and then that I will have to do, every chores, everything that comes up, so I can start with like a clean slate and also have so much more mental capacity and less mental load, so that I can focus better. You gotta actively recharge, you gotta actively like know this is the time where I'm calming down, and then preparing to then use that energy later on. And also, if that's stressful for you, then don't do it. But for me, at least, I know preparing for it mentally, knowing that I will have to do that work, that kind of helps me to then actually do that work, because I've prepared, I primed my brain for it. So it's nothing new, it's nothing really overwhelming, and I actually want to get it done quicker than, oh, brother got a ticket. Oh, I'm gonna get that ticket, wait. Good morning, it is Sunday, and I have already started doing some of the work that I had planned for this week. Basically, I just woke up And then I did it. I did like 5 pages because every time I wake up, I'm in the best brain state of actually doing something, because that is the time when I'm able to work with the least amount of distractions. So that is why I tend to use that time in the morning when my brain is still like fresh to start making the notes. And now for today, I'm having some resting planned, but that's already giving me a head start into the next week, and then therefore giving me some more room to breathe so that I don't have to hustle like 5 or 6 or 7 days a week, but then I can very surely minimize it to only 5 days so that I have like 2 days planned to take some rest. And that is very good, and we're already off to a good start, I would say. It's Tuesday today, and we're going very strong. Yesterday wasn't the best day, I have to say, because I had kind of a headache, and that is why I decided to go to sleep early and then sleep a little bit more today. That kind of worked. So today was definitely a better day, and I noticed that I have a lot of thoughts, so I will just kind of speed run them. And the first one is I have like very high standards and try to achieve a lot, which is practically not possible. But then when I have that standard, I always do more than if I have less of a standard. And that can also kind of backfire if you basically always think that you never achieve enough. But if you kind of know that you do achieve a lot and at the end of the week you have like managed to do so much, then for me that doesn't apply. So that is a tip to use wisely. And the last tip I will give you today is that if you have difficulties concentrating or focusing, which I think a lot of us do, try to notice your blood sugar levels or what you consume or how much you eat. Because usually in the morning I can like concentrate the best, and then after I have eaten something, my attention declines. And I have a lot of data to prove this from personal experience, because I've been doing this every day for years. So I've been noticing how I'm feeling, my energy levels, what I'm consuming, how much I'm moving. Listen, I've had a lot of trial and error. I tried a lot, I failed a lot, and I also know what works. And I don't know if you will like this. I don't know if you'll want to hear this. My arm still hurts. But moving helps, especially moving in the morning or after your first like session of the day. Moving, just walking or getting your heart rate up a little bit helps so much with focus later on. I noticed that always after I was in the gym, I always concentrate better. But basically what I meant with the blood sugar levels, notice how much you've eaten. It's just good to know your body and know how much energy you have or where your body is using the energy from. Because for me personally, I know that when I'm kind of in the fasting mode, where your body is either taking energy from your blood sugar or from the fat cells in your body, then I'm not an expert, but I know that it's better for concentration if your blood sugar is not high. So after you have eaten something, you probably will not be as attentive as if you were to not be as full. And I'm not saying that you should starve yourself. And if you're able to handle stress, because that is also stress for the body, if you're able to handle that amount of stress and if you're able to incorporate it in your studying routine, then I can highly recommend it. And now finally, I also plan for procrastination or for failure, basically, because yesterday I didn't do so much. Today I'm kind of making it up, but I also know that I will have some few pages left by Friday or something. However, I plan to do so much that I will have, no matter how bad, no matter if I'm going to skip a day, no matter if I get sick for a day, no matter if I literally can't show up for one whole day, then I will still have that one whole day to make it all up and to manage and to function and to basically live the rest of my life without this failure impacting my productivity. So I have enough time. And the sun is coming out. I have enough time to do it all, even if I fail. That's good to know. And to be really honest, usually I fail already at the beginning of the week or on Monday, because no matter how much preparatory work you do, I always have difficulties starting in the work week, as I did this week with not sleeping as much. And I just know that then after I have like that one day of extra rest or one day where I can finish the rest of the work that I didn't manage to do, and then if I finally finish all the work, then I still have enough time to recharge so that I don't mess up the next phase of the studying, which is then where we will study all of what we did, so that at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you have still enough time to recharge without having to do all the work that you will have needed to catch up. Was that English? So you still have time to recharge, to then get enough energy and active rest so you have enough energy to deal with the next phase of studying, which will then be looking through all the material, basically highlighting it, and then studying it, which we will do in the next phase. I think you know what that means. It is Monday. I was just at the gym so that I could focus better, and the weekend was not going according to plan. Let's just say that. I did way more work than I planned on doing because it took way longer than expected, so I didn't have that much time to recharge. But I had a little bit. We're gonna deal with that. We're just gonna pull through. And right now my motivation is that this will be done in like 4 to 5 days. That studying won't be as bad. Today's Friday, and I actually 2 weeks ago planned on writing the exam on Friday, but what I didn't know is that I would be not sleeping well this night, so I decided to take this day to finally summarize everything that I've studied, go through everything one final time, so that I then could do it tomorrow in the morning, and then could head off into the weekend and just chill and relax from the stress that this was. But I just did a mock exam and I wasn't handed a mock exam, so I just came up with one with ChatGPT. It is Sunday today, and as you have probably guessed, I wrote the exam yesterday. That concludes these 2 weeks of studying and writing the exam, which I managed as I have planned, with ups and downs, but that is not really the point. The point is that I had the goal to write the exam, and I don't have the grade yet. It will probably take some time. I'm done with that. I can finally move on. So the number one tip that I can recommend: know that you will be done with it. It's just good to know that one day you will be done with it, and that day will be sooner rather than later, and you will then be relieved of all that. The main point is how to plan and implement it, because I'm sure you all know how planning works, but I guess the most difficult thing is then to follow the plan and then integrate it into your day-to-day, and what to do if the plan doesn't work out as you planned. And that is also, I think, the most important thing while planning, because even if you kind of drift off of the path that you planned for yourself, then you can still adjust the plan or your path a little bit. And even when I didn't really feel that confident, I still kind of got through it, and I adjusted the plan slightly, but I still met my goal, because you can reach that goal if you really set it and if you feel like it's also realistic, because there's like a goal concept, the SMART goals, and they should be either relevant or realistic. And personally, I don't really like the realistic part, because you can always exceed your expectations, but I would rather want you to set a goal that you can reach, feel proud, and then adjust how you vision your output or how confident you feel or your next goal to that new standard that you are sure that you can reach, rather than having goals that are way above everything you achieve. And if you don't even come close to achieving the goal as you have planned, then that will not contribute to your motivation nor to your confidence. It will probably even make you feel unconfident, which is why I'm saying to be realistic, but not so realistic where you don't give yourself any challenge, where you play it safe. Give yourself a little challenge that is at least in the workplace. If employees have some degree of confidence and they are capable to do a task, but have a little challenge, that is when they perform the best. So you can use that to your advantage. And if you have some experience in setting goals and then trying to achieve them, you really should go off of what you have done in the past. If you feel confident that you can achieve it, great, set that goal that way, or try to achieve that goal quicker if you're confident that it will be easy for you. And if you set your goal way too high where you will only feel demotivated, that will not contribute to you feeling productive, efficient, or like that was the best thing that you could have done. So definitely set your expectations where they will fit for you. Not too easy, not too hard. It's always about the balance. And there are a lot of ways through which you can reach your goals more efficiently or quickly or in an easier way, so that you have more free time and that your mental health doesn't suffer from it, which I hopefully was able to show you. And that was everything from me
right now I will then get to planning, and I hope this video did something for you, that it motivated you. And thank you for watching. Check out my Instagram channel, my last video, or any other video if you want to feel a little bit more motivated or happy. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. I only have one hand. Hold up.